Hello and welcome to the Coaches Cup. I am Sonya Green from Sonya Green Coaching.
And I'm Judith Fender. I'm one of the amazing coaches with the No BS weight loss program.
So, a couple of weeks ago, and I don't even remember which episode this was. I remember us talking about it, but I said something about I have seen clients that I've coached that I suspected were throwing money after a problem without committing to solving the problem or something like that. I don't remember my exact words, but it was something like that. And that resonated with a lot of you, which, number one, thank you, because we have said all along, we love having feedback. It lets us know when things are landing and when they're not, when you're hearing things that are important to you and when you're not. And this was something that apparently resonated with a lot of people.
Well, who among us, you and I included, have not tried to, one way or another, solve a problem by buying another program, buying another course, paying another coach,
Yeah.
all the while knowing what we need to do.
Yes. 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 So that's why we decided to take a deep dive into this because number one, this when I saw it, it hit me. It got me in the feels when I saw it was resonating with people because it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately myself. And so I thought it would just be good for us to take a deep dive into this whole concept and ultimately how to solve it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let
So,
your coach solve it, right? Pay your
yeah,
coach to solve your
pay your
problems.
coach. That's right. That's right. But you, well, you said something and it sparked a thought and now it's gone again. I apologize, you all. I feel like my 51-year-old brain is like a sieve lately.
It is Friday night. We
Yes,
are
it is.
podcasting on a Friday night.
It is. That's how committed we are to you.
7:20
Yep.
Eastern on a Friday night.
So I think when I talked about throwing money after a problem, I kind of said that off the cuff, but yes, we have definitely both done it. I would dare say everybody out there has done it at some point or another.
Well, maybe not knowingly. I think there's
Huh,
that awareness where people who are just walking around in the dark.
that's true.
They're
Not
broken.
realizing that that's what you're doing.
That's the worst thing I think that could happen is someone would go through coaching and not even question if they're doing the steps or using what they're getting coached on, but leave thinking that they're broken and that they
And
can't.
can't be fixed.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why what I would say, if that resonated with you, the first thing that I did as I was thinking about this topic is I really had to look inside myself because I know me and I know my goals. And folks, I know when I'm cheating on me.
Mm-hmm. How do you know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know because I get a feeling in the pit of my stomach that it's hard to describe. But I have a feeling you can't lie to yourself, right? Um Martha
Agreed.
Beck talks about being in integrity with yourself.
Mhm.
And I will get flustered or frustrated. I'll have a feeling in the pit of my stomach. I know I'm not being honest with myself.
Mm.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking about, understanding something I learned recently about why we have trouble putting words to feelings. Do you know why?
Now don't tell me, please.
Because when the brain is developing, we don't have language
Language.
ability.
Yeah. No, I have read that. Yes. Or heard that.
And we
Yeah.
don't get verbal until like 7 or 8. And so, but we're learning all these feelings from birth.
Yeah.
and on, and we just don't have, and the feelings, I can't remember if it's the left or right brain. I could scroll over there and, but it's in one part of the brain where it's nonverbal, where feelings live.
Yeah.
They live in the
Yeah.
body.
And some of us didn't have the opportunity to practice those feelings even after we were verbal. I mean, it just wasn't something that I think was talked about in most households,
Mm-mm.
most schools like it is now. Um, but ultimately, you know when you're not giving it your best effort. You know
Mhm.
when you're cheating on yourself.
Mhm.
And so that's the first thing you have to do is be real honest, have an honest conversation with yourself. What are my goals? What do I truly want to happen?
Mhm.
Um, and it's the truth is having a coach can help you be more successful at that. There are statistics. I don't have those numbers in front of me. And I know you can find statistics to prove anything you want, but
Right.
there is plenty of evidence that having a coach can keep you on track. So I know that that is a good way to spend your money, but if you're not spending that money and being honest with yourself about, am I making an honest attempt at my goals?
And
Then
not using coaching as another form of buffering.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had a conversation with my coach, early in I'm trying to think how I was working on weight loss, and I had a coach, and I decided I wanted to go to the life coach school, and I remember telling her, "I really wanna go to the life coach school, but I'm worried that I'm gonna use that to buffer instead of focusing on losing weight." So
And you're like leaving me hanging here.
well, we worked through it, and I what my thought was, as you can probably tell from that, is that I could only do one thing at a time, and that was the thought that I was having. I can either focus on losing weight, and that was through no BS, or I could go to life coach school. That
Mhm.
those 2 things couldn't happen simultaneously, that was my thought in the moment.
What was last week's podcast? Two
Uh,
thoughts.
exactly, exactly. Give me a break. This was like 3 years
I know. Uh-huh.
But that was, that was my even at that early onset, I realized that I could buffer if
Oh,
I wanted to.
Lord. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm like jumping in the pool here, like buffer. Give me something to buffer with, and let alone let it be self-development. I'm all in.
That's right. And that's what when I was talking about throwing money at something, that's what I want us to think about. We have to have an honest conversation with ourselves because the truth of the matter is the brain wants to do 3 things:
Seek pleasure,
avoid pain.
create comfort and ease.
Yes. And let me tell you, when you have a big goal, it's it's not comforting or easy to get started, right?
No, no.
But buying a course or paying for a membership,
Yeah. Or buying another book.
buying a book, let me tell you, yes, we are some book buyers, aren't we?
My goal is to, I have some nice bookshelves in here, but I might have to ask my husband, please, can you cut me some 1 by 1s so I can support these shelves so I can put all the books up there.
Right. All of that feels good. It
Oh,
feels
yeah.
like
Have
we are
fun.
doing something.
Yeah. Mhm.
But sisters, let me tell you, if all we do is buy the books, take the courses, like a few posts on a membership, and yeah, I'm talking about me here,
Mm, mhm,
uh,
mhm.
then we are not going to reach our goals because that's not getting into action.
Agreed. And, there's part of me that wants to take the other route here, like, because I'm hearing what we're saying, but finding the value in learning this about yourself. Like, what if
Mm,
this is part of your process is
yeah,
unfolding? How are you using whatever it is you're, and even air quoting, throwing money at your problem? Because we could find evidence all day long to support that thought. And if that's the thought you want to have about whatever it is you're doing, then you're going to find that evidence. But
yeah,
then you could
yeah,
also be like, okay, let's look, what am I learning about myself? And now, what do I want to do with what I know about myself? Yet again, like, we're always learning.
yeah. So let me get real personal and and just tell you a little bit about my journey that I've been on recently. Um, so I joined No BS in 2019,
Hmm?
and in the first year, I lost 50 pounds.
No kidding.
Yep,
Wow. Okay.
yep, yep. Um, over the course of being in life coach school, as a matter of fact, because I joined, I don't remember, it wasn't too long. We met in August of 2019, right?
Correct.
And I had joined the membership in April of 2019. So I have in the last, well, I mean, since, geez, I don't know, since the pandemic,
Mhm.
slowly, or not so slowly, I've put on about 10 pounds a year, I guess, or a little bit more. And I've gained all of that, but 10 pounds back.
Mhm.
I have never left No BS.
Right. Mhm.
I have stayed in it and I will continue. I don't think that's, I, I have been throwing my money at the problem in that way.
But
But
no.
let me go through, let me explain this because I have stopped acting.
Yes, I totally, yeah.
I have stopped acting. I do not believe I have wasted that money
Mhm.
because I have, in keeping the membership, not only have I kept so many invaluable resources at my fingertips, but it's also kept me from giving up. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's keeping you mindful of
Yeah.
what you really want.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not want to run over you here,
No, go.
but what I'm thinking is it's like, okay, it's out of focus a little bit right now, but I still want to come over here. I still want to see the things. I'm not going to get into action. I'm just not ready to commit towards doing X, Y, and Z just yet. But I
Yeah.
still am all in on personal development. I'm still all in on taking care of myself. And
Mhm.
like, it's the best money. It's
Absolutely.
the best.
I have never even considered dropping it
Mhm.
because, yeah, the resources, the community, all the things that we all love about it. So, I have had a couple of things come together at once over the last couple of weeks, just kind of creating the perfect storm. And I thought, it's time to act.
Mhm.
It's time to stop sitting here, being comfortable, consuming, liking posts. You know, I I have a coach. I have this membership. I have amazing resources. It's time to use them.
Mhm.
And so that's that's what I've decided to do. I'm not just sitting here paying for something I'm not going to use any longer.
Mhm.
It's time to recommit to doing that. And the only way that this is going to work and be different is if I take action.
Mhm.
And and that's what we have to do is committing to action.
Doable action.
Doable action, yes.
Meet yourself where you're at, not big giant goals. That's where I'm gonna like, okay, here it comes.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Exactly. I mean, so I'll tell you what I did. I sat down and I decided on my goal.
mhm,
And then I decided on the first doable step that I was willing to commit to. I mean, that's what you're talking about when you're talking about meeting yourself where you're at, right?
yes.
Yeah. And then I have to be ready to recommit to that every single day because what I know about my brain is it's going to get hard and I'm going to say, well, I'd rather eat the thing right now than think about weight loss later. But I have to have a plan ready to go for that.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where I think the consumption things that we're talking about, the podcasts, the books, the
Mhm,
courses,
mhm.
all of that stuff can help to keep us motivated. Because motivation, you know, this is probably for all of us who are in self development, everybody listening to this podcast, this is not a surprise. Motivation isn't just born from, I don't
The,
know,
the heaven cracks open.
ether. Yeah,
And boom, here's some motivation. You've got
yeah,
it for the rest of your life. No,
not gonna happen.
learn through action.
Yes,
Mhm,
motivation comes from action.
mhm.
And so every time I don't want to take that walk, you know what I do? I jump up and do it anyway, before I give myself time to think about it.
Mm. You doing some 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never that's funny, I never think about Mel Robbins in those moments, but, yeah, I that's exactly what you've got to do because your brain, ooh, we can
yeah.
come up with some excuses.
Oh my gosh. And you know what is so great about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is like if you give yourself much more time than that, the
Not
habit brain
happening.
is more than likely going to win.
Yes.
Chances, or
Yeah,
there you're going to sit there and beat yourself up and swirl around.
yeah.
Mhm,
And so, I've done it before. I have evidence I can do it,
mhm,
which is useful too. But
mhm,
I know it's gonna get hard and I'm gonna have to be ready for that.
mhm.
But I'm gonna know that I have to get into action to make it work.
Yeah. Change comes when something outside of you inspires you, or change happens when you decide something inside you.
Yes.
And so what I hear you saying is something inside you has changed.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Like I said, it was kind of, a perfect storm, um, of things that came together, and I just decided enough.
Mhm.
I'm worth I'm worth all of the things that losing this weight would help me
Achieve.
do. Yeah.
In a similar vein, mine is more, I'm not having issue with, I love everything. I love everything I'm throwing my money at. And I feel like I'm getting the value. It's coaching and doing, like I know the things. I know the things. I can help my clients create a perfect path, a doable path, help
Mhm.
them achieve their goals. And at the end of the day, when I'm tired, putting that energy into my evening routine, my minimum baseline, when it's taken me, I guess I've been a little over 2.5 years, with that period where where I lost my mom. But this past 9 months, I've gained so much momentum on understanding. Like I see it now. It's just right in front of me. Like, oh, it is time for you, Judith, to practice what you preach and take care of you and your nervous system and have a protocol for the evenings and be mindful of the patterns that you're in. And as I sit here with this big LED light in front of me, that's one of my things. Like, I'm not going to be coaching at night. I'm not going to be sitting here under these lights,
Mhm.
um, that going to take, that's part of, for my nervous system, for my sleep, for my self-care. So, but I've got to make it happen, because I can also be like, oh yeah, I can coach. Oh yeah, I can do this.
Helping everybody else. That's
Yeah.
what's important.
I
Yeah, but
love
you're not a people pleaser.
mm,
No, but this what we want you to see, listeners,
mhm,
is that it gets it gets to all of us. It gets to us. We all become tempted to become complacent and to be consumers and get out of action, because action is just not where our brain wants to be.
it's so funny when you said action, I heard distraction. And but what I was thinking is all of the action that I have been taking, all of the action in pursuing things that like light my brain up and turn me on, have been a distraction
Mhm.
from really being mindful of taking care of myself. That it's come at a cost to just my, I don't want to say like my personal health. I'm not falling apart, but I definitely need to be more mindful in the evenings on how I take care of myself,
Yeah, yeah,
following my plan.
yeah, staying true to it.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So that's where we are at throwing money after a problem.
Yeah. Still don't like that title, but yeah.
I don't Yeah, I mean, when I said it, I hesitated saying it because I never assume anybody's motivation. But I think I really had to, it was something that obviously was somewhere inside of me.
Mm.
And I think that I came out with that term because I was feeling, I was already kind of feeling something about it
Mhm.
and
A little,
questioning what?
a little judgy.
Yeah. No, exactly. But that is, that's when I start
Mhm. The
turning
intern.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's time for me to start inspecting what's going on inside,
Mhm. Exactly.
because I'm not in integrity with myself.
Mhm.
And so it's time to get back in integrity with myself and use all of the amazing resources I have, because I've got other things that do light me up. I'm working on a new project with my coaching, and I have so much more confidence. I was talking with my son about this today. I have so much more confidence in my presentation, in my coaching, in everything when I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah. Mhm. Because you're in integrity with yourself.
Exactly. That's
Mhm.
what he and I were talking about this because we share a lot of the same thought patterns
I'm
sometimes.
thinking this is not Bennett. I'm thinking this
No,
is
no,
your
no.
old
This is
I'm like,
my older son, my
all of you
23-year-old. Yeah.
from
Remember,
this conversation with
we've
Bennett.
got him across the spectrum. Yeah. No, this is my 23-year-old. Uh, Bennett's not quite that introspective yet.
He's
He's
pretty
close.
good.
He's close sometimes. It's a little scary. But, we were both talking, he's a power lifter. I think I've told people that before, but a competitive power lifter. And, we've talked about where that confidence comes from is not from the act of losing weight in
Mm.
itself. It's from knowing that I am in integrity with myself
Mhm.
and knowing that I am respecting myself.
Mhm.
And listen, that alone is worth all the gold in Fort Knox.
Just hearing you even say, I never realized how much until, you hear the words. And I connected with this probably sometime in 2018 about understanding about the self through journaling and really becoming connected with the self. And I
Mhm.
just, at that time, it felt very intuitive and, it was very into me. And now over these past couple of years and doing some more study like this, it's like capital S self. Like
Yes.
it is an honorable version of yourself
Yeah.
that knowing it is like, I can't even put into words what I'm trying to say. It is so much more than just being in integrity with yourself. Like just saying it, but like it is such a deep knowing feeling, and
Yes.
that in alignment with the, like you were talking about, the feeling
Mm-hmm.
and the thinking, when it just flows and you are connected, it's
Yeah.
very powerful.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, that's exactly why we're not going to be coaching late at night.
Yeah. And while we're gonna be
Wrapping it.
sticking to our plans,
Mm-hmm.
taking doable steps, and listening to, not just listening to our coaches, but using our coaches for what they can give us, keep us motivated, keep us on that path.
It's funny. The programs that I'm in I'm so like soaking up knowledge, and it's just interesting to think this shift that I've had these past couple of days, and thinking like, this really, my perspective, I really need to come back and reevaluate and come at it with my lens, and not what do I need to learn, but really running myself, capital self,
Mhm.
through, there's a podcast, Capital Self.
There you go. So
um,
I think it may be coming soon.
that taking care of myself is, I lost my train of thought there. I'm just going to be straight honest.
Well, it's just the best thing for everybody. And that's just the surface of it.
It is, because it's so much about being emotionally regulated, and when you take care of yourself, you are just being your best self
Yeah.
and taking care of your body and your mind, and that full connection with that mind body connection.
Yeah. And that helps build that motivation because you are continuing to take action.
And it feels good. And when it feels good, you get positive results.
So our brain likes that. Lights it
That's
up.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it
Speaking of lights
absolutely.
up, y'all need to get on YouTube and see Sonya's background. It is so killer. I'm jealous.
Well,
I need 2 lamps. I need,
mhm. All right. So anything else before we go?
oh, no, it's Friday night. My daughter just got here. She's home for the weekend. So I'm super excited. Haven't seen her. I guess it's been since school started. She's teaching, and excited to have her home, and beautiful weather here in Asheville. And
Oh, here too. We've had amazing weather.
it's like a dream. Just want
Yeah.
to be outside.
Yeah, no, me too. It's amazing walking weather. So,
Mhm,
all
mhm.
right, ladies, get out, take a walk, look at yourself,
Mhm.
do an inner evaluation, and what are you not being true to yourself about? What are you quote unquote throwing money at that you
Mm,
really you need?
to take ownership of.
Yes, yes,
Mhm,
own it, do
mhm.
it.
Owning it.
Yep. All right. If you're looking for coaching, you can find me at sonyagreencoaching.com or on Instagram at Sonya_green coaching.
And you can find me on Instagram, Just Judy, JustJudie. And of course, you can find me at No BS.
And you can find both of us where we would love to have your comments on the no no BS, the Coaches Cup podcast Facebook page. And it's not the only place that we get feedback from you all, but we love getting feedback there. It's a lot of fun. So
Yes.
also we'd love some new reviews. We haven't had any iTunes reviews in a bit. And so if you haven't reviewed our podcast and you love our podcast as much as we do, then please give us a 5-star review.
There's a podcast right there.
Yeah.
5-star review. Like,
That's
I feel it. I
all
feel
we
it.
have so far. So it works.
Yes. Well, let's do it. Yeah. Mhm.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.